Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's been a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes and a half, maybe 2.5 minutes. Yeah, we'll go with that. So this video is a story time video, and it basically explains why I haven't been uploading as well, because this all happened in the past month. And it's been a whirlwind of a month, a crazy month. But let me take you back to the start. It was Wednesday night, and I was going for a swimming lesson, because for those that just stumbled upon this channel, I used to have a tracheostomy when I was younger, was never allowed to swim, never allowed near water because I would drown and die. So I never learned to swim at that stage in school. When you would go for swimming lessons, I was not allowed. So I did like basketball or some shit, whatever the other classes did. And then it was something I've always wanted to do but never got round to doing. And then I thought, what better time than the present? So I'd gone for a swimming lesson, and it was very rainy, and I remember coming in and thinking, oh, I wonder where Alfie is. And for those of you who don't know who Alfie is, he is the person that this story time is about, my cat, ting, and the love of my life. And it was very odd for him not to come back when it was really rainy, and I just kind of thought, well, maybe he's just hiding out somewhere instead of coming back, because sometimes cats do that. They wait until it's dry and then they'll come home. So I didn't really think much about it, and then when it got to later on at night, he still hadn't come back, and I thought, well, I wonder where he is. And I'm a late sleeper, so I go to bed about 1:30-ish in the morning, and so I normally check, and normally he comes in if like I call him, or like he's normally there waiting when he hears the door open. And he wasn't there, and I kind of thought, right, okay, I'll come back down in a bit. And then I went upstairs. I was just chilling in my room, listening to music, as I do. And then I came back downstairs, and the door was locked. And I kind of just presumed that, because I hadn't locked the door because I knew I was coming back downstairs, that someone else had come downstairs, opened the door, called him, and he came and they'd locked the door. So I just went to bed. And then went about my daily business the next day at work, and then I got a message from my dad at about 3:30 saying that no one had seen Alfie. And I was a bit worried. I was a bit like, oh, okay, that's bad. It got to 8:30 at night, and I was almost on my way home. Like, we were just finishing everything up at work, and my dad messaged me and said, no, there's still no sign of Alfie. And I thought to myself, oh, that's 24 hours. And I know some people are like, oh, cats go out for that long. Not my cat, bitch, okay? I know my cat, you don't. And my cat came back to the house on average every 4 to 6 hours, okay? And if not, you'd be there in the morning waiting to come in, being like, hey bitch, feed me. So it was very bizarre and totally out of character, and to say we were all devastated is it's an understatement. I mean, I was crying, my sisters were crying, my mum was crying, even my dad was emotional about it, because I know some people who say, oh, it's just a cat, but you clearly have not experienced the love that a cat can give you, and it was heartbreaking. Like, I always went through life saying, I don't have a heart, but bitch, that proved to me that I had a heart, because I was devastated. I mean, I would sit in my bed and cry, because Alfie used to sleep at the end of my bed quite a lot, and to sit and look and he wasn't there, and then to not know where he was soul destroying. And I think that was one of the worst things, is that we didn't know where he was, because although it would have been sad if he'd been hit by a car or X, Y, or Z, at least you'd have the closure of it. But to not know where he was just heartbreaking. And then I have to go to work and act all happy because I'm a waiter. You have to, you know, customer service. To have to be nice to people was just soul destroying. When all I wanted to do was just cry. I mean, there were times at work where I had to leave and go to the toilet and just have a little sob to myself, and then go back and be the boss ass bitch that I was. We did everything for looking for him. I mean, we went on walks. We lived next to a burn river, river right next to our house. We were all down in that looking, praying that we would maybe find him, because you know, cats can be curious creatures and sometimes get themselves stuck in places. Or if an animal injures itself, it doesn't necessarily go back to their home. Sometimes it will go off on its own in a nice little secure, safe place to heal or die. And I think we were all hoping that we would find him in some form or other. And we didn't. And we put up missing posters all around the village. We posted leaflets to every single house in the surrounding area to us, asking if they could check their outhouses or sheds or garages, anything, just anything, to see if he was maybe there. And there was nothing, and it was sad. It was so sad, because they do become like your little baby at the end of the day. And I know there was loads of us, but we were all individually attached to Alfie in our own little way, and he showed us love in his own little way, and the thought of never having that again literally crushed my heart. It is one of the saddest moments of my life and periods of my life. My mum wasn't coping very well, because my mum doted on Alfie. She did everything for him. He was always here when she was on her own, when everyone else was working, and it was very hard on her. About a week and a half after Alfie went missing, because obviously we'd heard nothing and there was no sign of him, we just kind of thought that he'd died or was gone, because I guess that's kind of how you help yourself get through it, in a way. Holding on to hope just made it worse. And I know some people were like, my cat went missing for X amount, X amount and X amount. It just made it worse, because you constantly clung on to periods, like when some people would say, oh, my cat came back in a week. So you'd be holding on for a week, hoping that he would come back in a week, and nothing, and it would crush you even more, because you just wanted him so badly to come home. And I'll be honest, the last thing I wanted to do was sit and film a video or edit a video, because my original plan had been that I was going to react to Ariana Grande's Sweetener album when it dropped. But my mind was just mush and just only on Alfie, and that was the only thing I could think of, and the only being or person I could think of was Alfie. And I didn't even have the energy to sit and pretend to like a video or pretend to act in a video, when all I really wanted to do was cuddle my cat and just bring him home. My mum wasn't coping, because obviously she doted on Alfie. She was there all the time for her. He used to greet her when she came in from work, and it was just hard on her. So about a week and a half after Alfie went missing, I came home from work to this. This is Charlie. He's very playful, aren't you? He's so cute. And that happening was just mind-blowing for me, because I was still in the process of getting, not over Alfie, but coming to terms with what was happening with Alfie, and to come home and see a new kitten in the house was just a lot to handle. A lot to handle. And when he first was here, I was a bit like, you're not Alfie, and all I want is Alfie. Time passed, and we'd had Charlie a week and a half. I went to a wine tasting, and I don't like wine, but I went because the wine instructor, the wine taster person was quite fit, so I was like, sign me up, bitch. So we went to that. It was just the two of us drinking wine, which was hilarious. And then I got home, and I got home about 5 o'clock on Wednesday, which was 3 weeks to the day that Alfie went missing. And I got home, and I was sitting talking to my dad. We were messing about, chilling and laughing and joking, and then the phone rang, and I ran to the, well, I didn't run to the phone, that's an exaggeration. I do not run to phones, because I don't like answering phones. But I went to the phone, I answered it, and it was my next door neighbour to the right of me. She was quite frantic on the phone, and she obviously has a husband who has had funny turns in the past, so I thought she was that frantic that something was wrong. And she said, I'm positive I've just seen your cat in my garden. And my heart started racing a little bit, but like I didn't want to get my hopes up, because obviously in my mind he was gone, like that was it. My heart was racing, and I said, okay, it's probably not him, you know, I'll come out and check. So I got my dad's slippers, and I went to the end of the pavement once I left my garden, and I looked round, and I saw this cat jump up and jump down from the fence, and I went, is that him? I was so confused and conflicted over whether this cat was him or not, and I shouted his name and went, Alfie, and he looked at me, and at that point my heart just was doing about 1,000 miles an hour, and I was so shocked. And then I went, oh my god, that's him. And I swear down, I was halfway down crouching, and this bitch bolted to me and like headbutted, like nuzzled into my knee and like curled around my leg, and I went, oh my god, this is him. But then I was so shocked, because his meow had totally changed, because obviously wherever he had been, he was meowing to get out, that his meow had gotten louder and had more amplified because Alfie's meow used to be so quiet before it happened, and I was completely shook. He was so skinny. We later found out from when I took him to the vet actually that he was 4.4 kilograms before he went missing, which is fine for a cat. I mean, it's a bit skinny, but like healthy. It's healthy for a cat. And then when I took him to get weighed, he was actually 3.8 kilograms. Now that's quite a big drop, especially considering I took him 2 days after he came back, because that's when we could get an appointment. So I was like screaming my dad's name. I was like, Dad, come on, come here. This bitch was running about the house trying to find his slippers, which I had on. So I got to the door, and then my dad opened the door, and my dad looked like he had seen a ghost, because Alfie ran into the house and was so hungry that he ate like 3 packets of food. He was very tired when he first came back. Here's a little video of like when he first came back, and he like nuzzled me, and it was cute. I just watched that and like almost cry every single time I watch it, because I tweeted before a video of me and him, and I was like, all I want him to do is just come home and give me a cuddle. And then I tweeted, when he did come home, I tweeted, sometimes dreams do come true, and it was that video, and it just warms my heart so much, because it was something that I never thought I would get again in my life. The main things that I remember doing was when he first came back was smelling his feet, because like he has cheesy feet, because that's obviously where like cats sweat most, is their feet. And I remember just smelling his feet and going like, oh my god, his cheesy feet. And I know it's so stupid, but like that is like one thing that sticks in my mind of like when he first came back, was I just wanted to smell his feet. Like, the day that he came back was the same day that family or a couple whatever who live down from us across the burn had been on holiday, and they were away for 3 weeks, and they come back, and then Alfie had all of a sudden appeared. So we think that he was definitely in their house, not in the garage or outhouse, but actually physically in their house, because he didn't come back smelling of outside, and he wasn't cold, he was very warm. So we think he was in their house. And the one thing that pissed me off, was that because they had a leaflet, I know for a fact we posted a leaflet through their door. If I was a homeowner and I came home and a cat had run out of my house, right? Ran out of my house, and it looked exactly like the one that the leaflet had, and there was a number on that leaflet, bitch, I'd have phoned or messaged and be like, I'm so sorry, but I've been on holiday for X amount of weeks, and a cat looking like the description of your cat has just ran out of my house. I would have done that, but they never did that. But whatever, I guess some people just aren't very nice people. That is why I've not been posting videos recently. I will be posting videos again now, because I feel more up to it, and I will see you next week for another video. Bye! So, I couldn't end the video without having Alfie in the vlog, could I? No, I couldn't. No, I couldn't. Where's my boy? Where's my loves? Where's my loves? Oh.